Kate Middleton's plan that morning was simple: to take a peaceful walk in Hyde Park without security detail, wearing simple clothes. No one should recognize her. She should spend time like an ordinary Londoner. But when she saw that elderly Mrs. Henderson needed help, she forgot her princess identity and acted simply as a human being. This spontaneous act of kindness would become an unforgettable moment in both Mrs. Henderson's and Kate's lives. On the morning of November 30th, Kate Middleton woke up before her alarm went off. It was only 7 a.m., but she knew she couldn't sleep anymore. For the past few weeks, there had been only one thought in her mind: to walk on the street like a normal person, without security. As a member of the royal family, Kate's every step was planned: security detail, predetermined routes, official protocols. But sometimes she just wanted to spend time like an ordinary Londoner. That morning, William had left early. The children were also at school. Kate decided to take advantage of this opportunity. She chose the simplest clothes from her wardrobe: dark blue jeans, a plain white t-shirt, and comfortable sneakers. She did minimal makeup and tied her hair in a simple bun. When she looked in the mirror, she couldn't recognize herself. There was no royal elegance. There was just an ordinary woman in her 40s. Kate was careful when leaving the palace. She told the security team that she had a meeting with her private secretary. This would give her at least 2 hours of freedom. She left Kensington Palace through the side door. No one paid attention. The plan was working perfectly. Hyde Park was only 10 minutes away. Kate decided to walk there. Walking on London streets without security felt strange, but exciting to her. While walking on the streets, she noticed that people didn't give her a second glance. This was a great success for her. She had finally been able to be anonymous. When she entered Hyde Park, Kate took a deep breath. Here, without her royal identity, she could spend time just as Kate. The park was very peaceful. Morning runners, people walking their dogs, elderly people drinking their coffee. Everyone had their own world, and no one was paying special attention to Kate. Kate began walking on the main path. With each step, she felt freer. There were no security concerns, no protocol rules, no royal responsibilities. After walking for about 20 minutes, she came to a quiet corner of the park. There were fewer people here. It was more peaceful. While Kate was crossing a small bridge, she noticed movement ahead. An elderly woman had lost her balance with her shopping bag in hand and had fallen to the ground. Kate's first reflex was to help. Royal identity, protocols, none of it mattered. There was a person in need of help in front of her. She ran to the elderly woman's side. The woman appeared to be about 75 to 80 years old. White-haired, kind-faced, but a bit confused. "Hello, are you all right?" Kate asked gently. The elderly woman looked at Kate. "Oh, thank you, dear. I lost my balance a bit." Kate helped the elderly woman get up. The woman was trembling a bit, but there was no serious injury. "Do you have any pain anywhere?" Kate asked. "Just my knee hurts a little, but it's nothing serious," the elderly woman said. Kate looked at the woman's bag. Fruits and vegetables had spilled out of it. She began collecting them one by one. "You don't need to go to such trouble, dear," the elderly woman said. "It's no problem at all. I'm Dorothy. What's your name?" Kate said spontaneously. She was careful not to say her real name. "I'm Mrs. Henderson. You're very kind." After Kate collected Mrs. Henderson's bag, she offered to accompany her. "Mrs. Henderson, if you'd like, I can accompany you. Walking alone might be difficult." Mrs. Henderson smiled. "You're very kind, Dorothy. I accept." The two began walking side by side. Mrs. Henderson was impressed by Kate's sincerity. "Dorothy, do you come to this park often?" Mrs. Henderson asked. Kate tried to be careful. "From time to time." "What about you?" "Oh, I've been coming here for 50 years. I used to come with my husband. After he passed away, I continued coming alone." Mrs. Henderson's story affected Kate. "I'm so sorry. How long have you been alone?" It's been 5 years. Harold was a very good man. We were married for 50 years. I have children now, of course, but they're very busy. Kate could feel the elderly woman's loneliness. Do your children visit you often? They come once a month, but I understand everyone has their own life. This conversation reminded Kate of the real people behind royal duties. While walking, Mrs. Henderson began telling her life story. Harold and I met here in 1965. We were both in our 20s. Kate listened in fascination. How did you meet? I had fallen that day too, Mrs. Henderson said with a smile. Harold had helped me, just like you. This coincidence surprised Kate. Really? Yes. And then we started meeting here every day. We got married 6 months later. Kate was smiling while listening to this romantic story. Mrs. Henderson, would you like to have coffee? Kate said. There was a small cafe at the park exit. Oh, great idea. I'd like to be the host, Mrs. Henderson said. No, please be my guest, Kate said firmly. They sat in the small cafe. Kate ordered coffee and cake for Mrs. Henderson. While drinking their coffee, the conversation became more personal. Dorothy, are you married? Mrs. Henderson asked. Kate hesitated. Yes, I'm married, and I have 3 children. How wonderful! Children are the meaning of life. I have 2 sons. One is a doctor, one is an engineer. Kate could feel that Mrs. Henderson was proud of her children. They've become successful people, Kate said. Yes, but they're very busy. Sometimes I can't find anyone to talk to. Mrs. Henderson's words deeply affected Kate. Don't you have any friends? I had some, of course, but as age progresses, everyone one by one, you know. Now I'm alone most of the time. Kate's eyes filled with tears. This woman's loneliness had upset her very much. Mrs. Henderson, you're a very valuable person. This conversation is very meaningful to me. You're very kind too, Dorothy. You have a beautiful heart. Mrs. Henderson continued, I was feeling very bad today. It was Harold's birthday, but you came and saved my day. Kate's heart tightened. I'm so sorry. This is a special day for you. Yes, but I'm not sad anymore, because I've gained a beautiful friend. These words affected Kate so much that her eyes filled with tears. Mrs. Henderson began examining Kate more carefully. Her way of speaking, her mannerisms, her elegance. It seemed familiar. Dorothy, you speak very elegantly. Your voice sounds familiar, too. Kate became a bit uneasy. Does it? Yes, it resembles a voice I've heard on television. Kate tried to change the subject. Mrs. Henderson, I'd like to see the photographs in your home. Really? I'd be very happy, Mrs. Henderson said excitedly. Kate didn't know why she made this spontaneous offer, but Mrs. Henderson's loneliness had affected her. It's not very far. A 10-minute walk, Mrs. Henderson said. Kate looked at her watch. She still had time. Great, let's go. Mrs. Henderson's home was a small but very tidy apartment. Every place was filled with photographs. These are the ones taken with Harold, Mrs. Henderson said, pointing to the photographs on the wall. Kate examined the photographs carefully. The young couple looked very happy. You were a very beautiful couple, Kate said. Our happiness lasted 50 years. I miss him every day. Mrs. Henderson also showed other photographs, their children, grandchildren, family gatherings. Then in a corner, she saw royal family photographs. There were photographs of Queen Elizabeth, Charles, William, and Kate. Do you love the royal family? Kate asked curiously. Oh, yes. I especially love Princess Catherine very much. She's a very elegant and kind woman. Kate smiled when she heard these praises, but also became uneasy. Mrs. Henderson began looking at Kate more carefully. Then she looked at the royal family photograph, then back at Kate. Dorothy, she said slowly. You ... Kate's heart raced. What's wrong, Mrs. Henderson? You look very much like Princess Catherine. Kate tried to laugh. Do I? That's interesting. But Mrs. Henderson was now certain. Facial features, way of speaking, mannerisms, everything was exactly the same. Mrs. Henderson looked at the photograph again, then at Kate. No, this can't be possible. Then with great courage, she asked, Are you really Princess Catherine? Kate's face reddened. There was no point in hiding any more. Mrs. Henderson, she said slowly. Oh my God, Mrs. Henderson exclaimed. You really are the princess. Kate took a deep breath. Yes, Mrs. Henderson, I am Catherine, Princess of Wales. Mrs. Henderson froze, her mouth open, her eyes wide. She couldn't say anything. But please, still call me Dorothy, Kate said with a smile. I talked with the princess, Mrs. Henderson stammered. Princess, I'm so sorry for talking to you so casually. No, Mrs. Henderson, please don't apologize. This conversation was very valuable to me. Mrs. Henderson was still in shock. But why were you here? Where's security? Kate explained. Sometimes I want to spend time like a normal person. Today was such a day. Mrs. Henderson, the time I spent with you was very valuable. I made a real human connection. But Princess, I couldn't recognize you. That was the beautiful part. You talked to me not because of my royal identity, but because of who I am. Mrs. Henderson understood Kate's sincerity. Mrs. Henderson, the moments you talked about Harold were very touching. These stories affected me very much. Really? Yes, and now you're my friend. Princess identity aside. Mrs. Henderson's eyes filled with tears. This is the most beautiful gift. Mrs. Henderson, I have an offer for you. If you'd like, we can meet sometimes. Really? But I'm just an ordinary person. No, you're a very special person, and I would very much like your friendship. Mrs. Henderson was crying with happiness. Mrs. Henderson, I have a request. Let this encounter stay between us. Of course, Your Majesty. I won't tell anyone. Thank you, and please, just call me Catherine. Mrs. Henderson nodded. Okay, Catherine. Kate looked at her watch. It was time to go. Mrs. Henderson, I need to go now, but we'll meet again soon. Was this real, or was it a dream? Mrs. Henderson asked. Kate hugged the elderly woman. It was very real and very beautiful. The next day, Kate sent beautiful flowers and a note to Mrs. Henderson through her private secretary. The note read, Dear Mrs. Henderson, the time we spent yesterday was very valuable. We'll meet soon. Love, Catherine. Mrs. Henderson cried while reading this note. She was no longer alone. In the following weeks, Kate began visiting Mrs. Henderson regularly. Secretly, of course. Each time she wore simple clothes and came without security. Mrs. Henderson eagerly awaited these visits. Over time, a real friendship developed between the two. Kate learned life lessons from Mrs. Henderson, and she found strength from Kate's sincerity. Catherine, you make me very happy, Mrs. Henderson would say each time. Kate would reply, You teach me so much. One day when Mrs. Henderson was sick, Kate visited her in the hospital. Secretly, of course. The doctors and nurses didn't recognize Kate. She was just a kind friend named Dorothy. Mrs. Henderson was very moved by Kate's gesture. Months passed, but no one knew about Kate's friendship with Mrs. Henderson. This was just their private secret. Kate didn't forget Mrs. Henderson, even in the intensity of royal duties. Mrs. Henderson was no longer alone either. She had a real friend. This friendship was never reflected in the media. Both kept the secrecy. Kate had learned how valuable real human connections were. Mrs. Henderson understood that status didn't matter. Kate learned patience and humility from Mrs. Henderson. Mrs. Henderson gained courage and hope from Kate. Both had gained a lot from this friendship. On Harold's birthdays, Kate would always visit Mrs. Henderson. Catherine, you're Harold's most beautiful gift, Mrs. Henderson would say. Kate would reply, You're my most valuable friend. This friendship brought a different perspective to Kate's royal duties. She now made more sincere connections with the public. She used what she learned from Mrs. Henderson in other royal events. Kate's friendship with Mrs. Henderson gave an important message: status doesn't matter. Real friendship can be established with anyone. It also raised awareness about the loneliness of the elderly. Kate began developing special projects for the elderly. This experience taught Kate a lot. Most importantly, understanding the value of connections made with ordinary people. Mrs. Henderson showed me that the most beautiful friendships are born from unexpected moments, Kate said one day. Kate is determined to continue her friendship with Mrs. Henderson. She also plans to develop special programs that bring together the elderly and young people. She wants to turn Mrs. Henderson's story into the stories of other elderly people, too. Kate Middleton's encounter with Mrs. Henderson was not a coincidence. It was the meeting of two lonely hearts. Kate had found a real friend amidst her royal duties. Mrs. Henderson had received the most beautiful gift in the final period of her life. This story shows us that kindness always finds its return. Kate's spontaneous help had changed not just Mrs. Henderson's day, but her life, and Kate had learned just as much from this friendship. Real friendship doesn't look at status. Only heart speaks to heart. Kate Middleton's friendship with Mrs. Henderson is the most beautiful example of this. If you want to hear more stories like this, don't forget to subscribe and click the like button. See you in the next video.